І зараз я запрошую пана Федора Веніславського, кандидата юридичних.
Fedir Venislavsjkyi, the representative of Kharkivsky громадський forum, Kharkiv Civic Forum coordinate, and also, so we will be informed about the procedure of individual civic lustration procedure. I would like to congratulate us all with this great holiday, with great piece of information that Ukrainian Parliament and European Parliament simultaneously ratified the association agreement. I would like to express joy from what we've seen in the European Parliament. We saw Rebecca Harms there, and she works in close cooperation with Kharkiv Civic Forum. And the roadmap to Europe is one of the components of our civic lustration procedure. I would like to draw your attention that in the beginning of August this year, we presented the Kharkiv Civic Lustration Chamber here, and since then interesting things happened. We formed the Kharkiv Civic Lustration Chamber, and on the 12th of September this year, a few days ago, we started the procedure of individual lustration, civic lustration. What is this procedure about? The heads of 11 bodies of state authorities, the head of regional administration, the prosecutor of the region, the head of the Department of the Interior, the head of the Department of Justice, and other civil servants, which I enumerated in press release, received lustration statements and the memo where the Kharkiv Civic Lustration Chamber calls upon everyone in practice, but not in theory, to certify that they are supporting the ideas for which people were standing in Maidan. And you remember that one of the ideas was full restarting of authorities and lustration of authorities. And we who supported from the beginning the lustration of authorities, and we work with Igor Sobolev. We started this procedure of individual civic lustration procedure. We suggested to the heads of the authorities to fill in themselves and recommend to their subordinates to fill in the lustration statements and to undergo the procedure of civic lustration. This procedure is defined in the provisions on the Kharkiv Civic Lustration Chamber in the press release and on its official website. So we do hope that the heads of the state authorities will listen to our recommendation, will fill in themselves, and will recommend their subordinates to fill in the lustration statements, and after that they will undergo the procedure of civic lustration. We understand that the chamber does not substitute the law. That is an additional procedure which will actively be applied until the law on lustration of authorities comes effective, which we hope that the Verkhovna Rada will vote for, and then we would offer the state lustration body to conduct these lustration procedures. But until we see that the law becomes effective, we will involve the civic society, and we unite professional associations, professional trade unions, and other institutions of civil society. We will be actively combating corruption, and we'll be trying to clear the authorities from people who were involved in non-democratic and illegal actions and decisions.
Let me tell you why Lustration Chamber, why Kharkiv, and on the basis of what its functioning. We decided not to wait the help of legislators. We don't want to wait for them to vote for lustration law, which is needed in the country. We believe that civic lustration is more efficient than by the state. It's very difficult for me to imagine how public service will luster or will clean other apply lustration to other public servants. Civic organizations should do that. What is different between us and other organizations, which also would like to work on lustration? Because, as my colleague told, we have not just several of us, but behind each of us, each member of the chamber, there is we have civic organizations, those who share the same ideas. So we claim that people will listen to our opinion, and we claim that we express the opinion of people in Kharkiv city. Our activity is limited to Kharkiv city and region, and we start there. But at the same time, we came very seriously to legal status of our organization. We developed a regulation on lustration chamber, and we explained lustration, what kind of bodies and functions it has. And also, we don't have such a notion as a chairman, like in any NGO. We decided we use democracy as a main principle. We will not have, we decided not to have a chairman. We'll have a secretary who will work on all the documents in the lustration chamber. Lustration chamber will be like a coordination council, and 11 people are elected to it, and once a week they will have a sit and they will discuss all the issues on how to apply lustration to whom, and all the rest of the issues, and logistic issues. Also, we have a list. We developed the group that will work on lustration, not coordination council. For us to consider concrete candidates, concrete public servants whom we would like to push away from power, or we would like for them to be like a staff reserve, for them to be approved for the positions of public servants. For that, we develop a jury of 12 people. People who are known people, jury, and people who have very good reputation that allows them to make judgment about other people. And professors from universities in Kharkiv, doctors, one artist, one scientist, and businessmen. And we suggested to these people, who will be also elected by us, to be the first to develop a lustration statement, and where they will provide all the information about themselves and would be completely transparent for us. We develop one more body, expert chamber. So the jury will consider concrete candidates, and at the same time, they'll take into consideration of a different group of people, which is they will be also elected, and those will be experts. If juries are not professionals, for example, if we wanted to apply lustration to an official who from fiscal service, and people, it doesn't mean that we should have people. It's not necessarily they understand something about finances, like a jury in Anglo-Saxon countries. Experts are professionals. If we discuss the issue of tax inspector, then people, among experts, there will be people who will be able to assess professional features of that person, professionalism and patriotism, and how clean they are. And we have a lot of people who participate in this procedure. All of them pass a democratic selection process, and that's why we claim that this has a right for life, and we would like other regions to join this activity. There is no need to wait for such a law. Our parliament is not flexible, and they need to regulate many things, but it takes them a lot of time to do that. Some more comments. Do we understand from a legal point of view that Kharkiv Lustration Chamber has a nature of recommendation? We understand that. We understand also that Institute of Civic Society and civic groups they have a lot of levers to influence on public service, starting with a request to provide information and up to peaceful protest. So if public servants that don't react to our appeals or to our statements, we will speak about that in public. We will draw attention of the public to that public servants don't want to fill lustration statements, lustration forms they receive from a group of civic organizations on one hand, and on the other hand, at the same time, we sent letters with recommendations to go through lustration procedure for top officials. We said it to the Prime Minister of Ukraine, General Prosecutor, Minister of Justice, etc. So that's why we hope that it will give results, and we will try to use all legal means for that. One more clarification. Those are 19 letters we sent, and that is just the first wave of our civic lustration procedures. It covers officials in those structures which are, in our opinion, in the opinion of the society, as the most corrupted or dangerous in terms of corruption. Then we'll go to lower level, and for our Kharkiv Lustration Chamber, the issue of mayor's office is very important for us. So we will cover the maximum number of public servants with our procedures.
As far as I understand, Kharkiv is a pilot project. Other regions have not been conducting this lustration procedure. Other regions, they are planning to do that, but at the systemic level, at the legally supported level, we haven't seen it in any other region of Ukraine. Let us hope that this will work in Kharkiv and will become a great example for other regions. There's a question. Could you please tell how you or anything else will be controlling whether the declaration is filled in correctly without any lies, so to say? The form is here. There are some general, there's some general information, education, date and place of work, and the place of work, and the special information to which we need to pay special attention. It's like whether the person participated in avoiding people in peaceful actions of process, whether the level of income of this person corresponds to the level of the expenditures. So we say that the civic lustration procedure will check whether the person is honest, decent, vulnerable to corruption, or honest. Besides, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that in this lustration statement, there's information about whether the person cooperated with the authorities, whether participated in putting obstacles to legal activities of journalists. So the things like that. And how are you planning to control whether everything's written is true? On the official website of Kharkiv Lustration Chamber, there's a feedback, and all the stakeholders can provide their feedback. We're doing it publicly. We call upon all citizens, all the organizations that have information about some not very positive actions or decisions of a civil servant to send them to our address. And as Irina mentioned, in the Kharkiv Lustration Chamber, there will be the Chamber of Experts, and they will assess whether the information is true or not. Besides, we'll be using the institution of information request, the institution of journalist investigations. the chamber also includes the representatives of mass media. We'll be using any mechanisms legal to check whether the person gives all the correct information, that the person declares that the salary is 5,000 hryvnias and the person has two-storied building and a car, very expensive. These will be criteria that we'll take into account. Thank you. Could you please tell, Lustration Committee, is that just theory, or has anything been done in practice, talking about the practice of the activities of Kharkiv Civic Chamber? I believe that those who follow such civic initiatives know about a wonderful initiative which was started in Kharkiv. I mean, the promoting from the business environment, the head of the fiscal service, the business environment put forward as the candidates few future civil servants, and they went through this procedure of civic lustration. Mikhail Gagarkin, who passed this procedure, after that had an interview and received assessment from the personnel service at the fiscal service, and he has become the best candidate for this position, and that underscores the fact that the Kharkiv Lustration Chamber very professionally comes to that such issues, and we hope that this will find support. And the candidate who was supported by business circles and who passed the lustration procedure will become a civil servant of such a high level. Volunteer project. We have seen the lists of candidates from parties and blocks who are still closed. Do you have any initiative? Do you have any instrument to do lustration of the people who are in the lists? Because we see that many representatives of old authorities are in the lists of future candidates to the parliament. One of the directions of the activity of Kharkiv Lustration Chamber, when we see that the election process is going on, so we are publicly declaring the lustration procedure. We developed a special form of lustration statement for candidates where, besides the traditional questions, there is a question about 5 legislative initiatives the person will come up with after the person is elected to the parliament. And we will send that to all the candidates who are going to run the elections. And I believe that after we send these illustration statements, they will fill them in or not fill them in. This will be an example that whether they have something to hide or they don't have anything to hide. Then another question to you. You said it correctly that now the activities of the chamber and the statements are of recommendation nature because there's no legislation to make them mandatory. But at the same time, the parliament has passed the law on cleaning the authorities. So these statements and what you are doing, is that coordinated with that law? We do support the idea of passing the law on cleaning or lustration of authorities on behalf of the chamber. I participated in the work of the working group on drafting the law, and our lustration civic procedure does not contradict the procedure which will be in the law. This will be additional mechanism. On the other hand, one of the main objectives of our activities is to assist the body of state lustration in their practical activities. We'll be closely cooperating, we'll be helping to more effectively conduct this procedure of state lustration. The law is helping you, to make this procedure, to legalize the procedure. It helps us to get more or less legitimate activity for our activities, because the law provides for involving the civil society to lustration procedures, and we already have the lustration chamber, which will become part of that law. We are for this law, and we believe that passing the law will, in practice, confirm that the MPs listen to recommendations expressed by Maidan. How much time do experts need to verify the statements? That's the procedure, but we recommend in our letters to fill in the statements and recommend to fill them in by their subordinates during 10 days time frame. As lawyer, I can tell you that that's just recommendation, because civil servants, when they go to their lawyers, will probably look at these statements as the requests from citizens. But if civil servants have nothing to hide, they will agree and they will fill in the statement timely. Once we have no more questions, I would like to thank you, and we will look forward to seeing the results from you on the lustration procedure. All the information will be on the official website. All the materials are there on the registration table. Thank you. Our next brief